Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be on a Seiko dress watch that I don't even know what the model number is. This was a pickup from a thrift store for $3 only. Of course, the battery wasn't running at the time and it was a little bit dirty, but the battery has been replaced and it's been cleaned up a little bit. And the reason why I'm showing this watch to you guys is that part of the reason why I want to start my YouTube channel is that when I search up vintage watches, especially vintage watches, but even new releases as well, sometimes I can't find any articles about it and I can't find any videos on it. So I find that a little bit frustrating because before I buy a watch, I want to see what other people's thoughts are. I want to see what it's like on the wrist. I want to find out more information. So hopefully now for this watch here, because I can't find any information on it, I'll put this on YouTube. I'll eventually find the model number. And then in the future, if someone else is trying to buy this watch, they can search up my video and then they can see whether or not this is a good watch. So let's start off with talking about the specs. Again, I don't know the model number, but there's still a lot you can tell just from the appearance of the watch. You can clearly see this is a Seiko quartz dress watch style. If I flip to the back here, so yeah, Seiko, water resistant. It's probably water resistant, only 30 meters. It's base metal, stainless steel backing, and then this here, 7N01-5A00. I don't think this is the model number because when I search it up, I just get a bunch of different Seiko watches. So maybe 7N01 is the movement number. That's possible. And then that's your serial number. I think you can find out the age of this watch using that serial number. But I'm guessing this is at least 20 years old, maybe even 30 or 40. I'm going to guess around 30 years old. So we'll talk about the specs, or in terms of the dimensions here. So we have about 28 millimeters. And then here, about 26. Let me straighten that. About 26, 26.5. Lug to lug is about, I'll say that's about 35, 34.8. It's probably around 35. The height, let's see. Height is about 6 millimeters. And then these lugs, I believe these lugs are 19 millimeters. You can see the band here that it came with. It's a little bit too small. And actually, let's talk about the band quickly. So the band, let's see, there it is. This is a third-party band. I don't know what that says. That's either like 2RC or ZRC. And you can see here, this is a crocodile calf. So crocodile embossed, but it's calf leather, 18 millimeters. Unfortunately, these are the traditional holes. It looks like whoever had this watch, they stamped in 2 extra holes, but they didn't do a good job of it because you can see it's getting quite cracked. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, the lug distance, I believe it's about 19 millimeters. Yeah, it's about 19 millimeters. So the specs make it seem small, but I'm pretty sure that these types of dress watches, like the square watch with the Roman numerals, they're usually on the smaller side. So I think that this is still a men's watch. So now let's talk about the design. Like I said before, this is a dress watch. It's not unique in design. There's definitely watches that look like this as well. You can think of like I don't know if Omega still releases them, but the Omega DeVille, their old dress watches look like this. Also Cartier, the Cartier tank is similar. Jaeger-LeCoultre also has kind of that square dress watch. And even Seiko themselves have a watch that's very similar to this. It's a Seiko solar powered watch. I'll pull up a picture just for comparison. So there's other watches that look like this, but I think that's for a reason. And that's because this watch looks really nice. I think I can picture wearing this with a suit and I think it would work really well. In terms of condition of this watch, thankfully quartz watches hold up pretty well. If this was a mechanical watch, it would definitely need a service, but you can see that it's ticking quite fine. If I pull out the crown, no issues with pulling it out, and adjusting the time is fine here. So that's good. The dial has like a little bit of debris. I don't know if I can get it here. Around the 7 o'clock mark, there's like a little bit, but overall the dial is in pretty good shape. The crystal is in mostly good shape. There's a few scratches here and there, but no cracks, no severe damage to the crystal, which I think is some type of glass, maybe like mineral crystal, but I'm not too sure. I don't think it's acrylic though. And then the case has like your usual wear and tear, like there's obviously some scratches. It's not as shiny as before. I could have asked the watchmaker to, because I had a watchmaker replace the battery and clean it up a little bit. I could have asked him to polish it, but I thought it's probably better to leave it unpolished. So the case is not too bad. It's not gold plated, and you can see here it's starting to lose that gold coat at the edges here. So that's unfortunate, but it's still mostly gold. And the back, you can see it's been cleaned up, so it's nice and smooth. So that's really nice. Just a little bit of grime over there that you can probably just scratch it off. The strap, again, is aftermarket. Not sure what the brand is. It's like an H+. I think it fits the theme of the dress watch pretty well, right? It's kind of like that vintage style. I think this strap, it could probably last, you know, they're 2-3 years, 1 or 2 years. It's not in awful condition, like it's not falling apart. It would actually be in great condition if they just didn't stamp this here. So that's too bad. But overall, I think for $3, like that's super cheap. And for that, I think it's a really good deal. So here's a wrist shot. This is on my 6-inch wrist, and you can see it fits pretty well. So this is, I think, a watch that would work best on small wrists. It could be unisex, I think. Women or men could wear this. But again, this type of style, like the square style with the Roman numerals, I believe that this type of watch is usually smaller anyways. So even people with larger wrists, this can maybe work for you. I haven't worn a Cartier tank or Jaeger LeCoultre before, but I think their vintage models are around this size as well. So, you know, it's just kind of a small watch, but yeah, it fits really well. And because it's so thin, you can see it's pretty thin. I think this is great under like a suit. You could put this under a cuff, or honestly, you could wear it any day you like. I think, you know, even though it's more of a dress watch, it's more classy. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw someone wearing this just on a random day. And yeah, so I think that's a great watch. Now, in terms of pricing for this watch, I'm not too sure how much this would sell for, but I kind of see similar priced watches on eBay for between $50 to $100. It really depends on the condition, depends on the model. But yeah, I think this watch, I wouldn't pay more than $100, but I think maybe, you know, I think like $30, $40 would be a good price for this. Maybe even more, I'm not too sure. But it's definitely a great timepiece. And, you know, if you're looking for a nice watch around, you know, less than $100, and maybe you don't like Casio, maybe you don't like Timex, because Casio watches are digital, Timex watches tend to tick very loudly. This one ticks pretty quietly. I think this is a great watch. Even though I don't know the model number, I feel like this watch has more stories to tell than like a clean brand new watch. So yeah, I feel like if you're looking for something a bit more interesting, you know, something with more history, I think a watch like this would be really great. Anyways, that's it for this video. I'll be consulting the internet to try and find out what model number this is. But if you yourself know what model number this is, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below, and then I'll change the title appropriately. But thank you for watching. This is gonna be the first of many videos where I pick up vintage watches, I talk about them, and then hopefully we can get these watches a second chance at life. So again, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.